Hello, everyone, and welcome to the night's episode of The Plight of Princes. Had to think for a second of do I do Storm King's Thunder because now it could be ended forever. So, in our previous encounters of this party, these wonderful players that I have, they were encountering Grast. They were nearly becoming a Lord of the Abyss in one case. They were watching the massacre of the Archmages of the Harpers, but they don't need to worry about all that right now because they're going to pull the clock back to the start of the day. These adventurers, they can all wait as the story of the Pop Kids essentially takes a backseat as they all begin using their legend lore that they were given once a day by Wittig for his once-off effect. When they're at that stage, when the grim psychometry is being used to determine what happened to the Spire of Divination, a message was sent out to the kids that Zalto had been defeated. And as he was, the defenders of Faerun, champions from a long ago campaign in a bygone era, defenders by even their title, were arriving to go in to collect one of the other spires. This particular spire happened to be located near the city of Mirabar. Teleporting to a distance decently away from it, they got aboard their flying rock, a token allowing them to summon them, Huru, and they flew, preparing spells and other such things. As they made their way, flying over essentially 300 feet off the ground, the wind is cutting past them. Some of them feel perfectly at home, others are just still not comfortable with it, but they're fine. Until the sound wave hits them before the fire erupts out, and there is just the only way to equate is the equivalent of a mushroom cloud of a massive pillar of flame striking the city of Mirabar. From about a mile out, the party sees this. And Varys, I believe, being the only person here who spoke Draconic, heard in his mind the word traitors, betrayers, as the ancient red dragon cloth flew from Mirabar, heading back towards the Clothian Vale as the Spire of Lakith went with him. Defenders of Faerun, you're quite a league out. What do you do?
We
We got
know he's got the fire, right? Stat character, sorry.
Out of character, you are aware if the spire is moving. Like, it's that distance away that you could tell that it's going this kind of direction. It's
there's
arcing, and it's moving in the same
oh,
direction as the Titanic Dragon
Shroud,
in the distance.
the name of their star
Which, by
system.
the way, is a spec to you guys from this distance, but it's one of those things of, a plane looks small from way up there.
Mm. Um, we can fly faster than him, right? On her.
We're not going to catch up to him from this distance. We need to go down to Mirabar.
But
I know you want to kill dragons, Varys, but there are some
I
things that are
always
more
do.
important. We can look. If Cloth's got the spire, that's the way we're going. But we can spare a minute to go and help the people who need it.
Very well.
Okay. So is that a consensus to go to Mirabar?
Consensus. I told everyone to do. Let's go.
Glory said we're going, and none of us are arguing.
It was more Ashka was very sternly glaring at Varys when this was actually happening anyway. It's a case it was more a case of the wife is speaking, do not say a thing.
So you move your way, flying overhead to Mirabar. You fly a little bit lower towards the ground as you go. And there is a point where you do see like the dust had hit, like, hot ash and dust had spraying out from it. from like 500 yards away. And it's at that point where you're like 600 yards away. You can just see, like, you essentially see it, but at the edge of what you would have as the blast radius, shall we call it, you see a single person who had been running from it and had somehow outran the blast. Nemo, would you like to describe your character?
It's like, which bitch is this?
I mean, if they're running, I think we know who it is. We know who it is.
We
Why
know
not throw my
if they're
picture up
running.
on screen?
We know who it is if they're running. If they're outrunning a goddamn fire blast, we know
Oh,
know who
fuck, I
that
forgot.
is.
It's Fleet.
I forgot.
Fleet!
Yeah.
You see
I
an
forgot
amazing
about-
scarf.
I love them.
You just see an amazing scarf fluttering behind them as they are bolting.
Have found dark matter.
We know that guy.
We know them.
And yeah, they're running straight towards you.
If there was a picture put up, I didn't see it, by the way.
Unfortunately, it's because it's already there. But if you look under Defenders of Faerun and under the guest section, you can see them. I believe I hit
Guests?
show to players. Yes, there's a guest section under Defenders of Faerun. Just a
Oh,
moment now.
visible.
What I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
Sorry.
see. I don't see no guest section.
Interesting. Right. Because Nemo has access
Now it
to it,
is.
show to players does nothing.
Now it's there.
There we
There we go.
There's the fleet I remember.
Yay!
A runny friend.
I want that scarf in real life so bad.
A speedy friend.
I guess if as we land, hop off or kind of wave fleet down, I guess.
By the time you
Another
land, it's like
planet.
Fleet's already practically underneath you for expediency's sake.
How far are we from Mirabel when we land?
This would be about 600 feet out from Mirabar.
I'm going to spend a minute to conjure a water elemental.
Oh,
I'm just gonna start running. If Fleet wants to run with me, Fleet will outrun me.
Fleet's probably just going to hop up there and start dusting themselves off.
it is a lair. It is like straight up like an old book that had been left in some ancient house for ages. And just shake and just.
Wait.
Is Turk about?
Turk is in the claws of Huru. Much to
Oh.
their constant.
Because-
chagrin.
Because what I was going to ask was just going to ask Turk to just, just like a snort to sort of let out a big
One
gust of.
inhale and just next exhale, snort in the air. Takes big nose air. Wafts over you.
Oh,
Fleet,
research,
enjoy.
research.
No, to get rid of the dust.
Fleet just looks at you briefly and it's like, oh yeah, there's you. Hi.
Can I...
Hey, long time no see.
Yep, been a bit. I got messages to deliver. What are you doing here?
It's probably to do with the dragon.
I got a message to deliver to him, as it so happens.
Stars.
Oh.
Hmm.
Who?
You a hoe.
Whoever reads this, your mum's a
Your
hoe.
mom's a hoe.
I'll join you lot then.
Let's go.
I mean, what is it you've got to deliver? Just like literally a letter or what?
I'm a messenger. Business demands I don't say my sources or what I'm delivering.
Yes, but I think.
Would you like to make an insight
I,
check?
I mean, sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. I can delete Fake Varus's character sheet now.
Nope. Hey, first one of the night.
Bodes well as far as omens go.
This is great. It's great. I
I'm
don't know.
assuming I don't
I
even
don't
need
know.
a counter roll
Yeah,
on that.
I don't know, Jack. But what I was going to say was relevant anyway. Is like I think certain matters of privacy are a moot point when there's a degree of political danger to the country at large.
Last time I saw you, I started running messages for a king, and I've done running messages for just about everyone. Everyone.
Ah, the king, that would explain it.
Everyone's got to make a living, I suppose.
It's a living. So, you guys make your way moseying towards Miramar.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
already going.
Sounds good.
Just full dash.
You'll be quickly caught up to by some members here.
Oh yeah, sure.
Glory, what you realize quickly is you have to almost wade when you get to like the 100 mark outside the city, like shin high
Rubble,
ash.
debris. Yeah. I've been here before.
Not unfamiliar for you.
Yeah.
What you see is Gith ships wrecked. The same design
Good as
of
good. Gave as good as I
the
got.
the Gith armada that had been present here is just wrecked in several instances. What you see as well is like as you begin like making your way closer towards the city itself is the ships are wrecked, and it's very clear that anything that was in this blast basically got nuked, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that there are maybe like half a dozen Drake kin, so half bloods or Blue might need to mute your mic. Okay. Half Drakes who are killed or cut down. There is a young red that is killed here, in addition. And towards the center of this town, towards the center of this city, what you see, essentially by like what would be a water feature or water fountain towards center of town, is what looks like a mountain has collapsed with the ash that's over it. But as you move, as there's dust, there's like even just the slightest of breeze before the area's like wind even goes dead. What you see lying in the center of Mirabar, very quickly you realize is maybe like 100 foot from tip to tip, is an enormous dead dragon with platinum scales.
Gloria's not particularly smart, but she knows that's bad, right?
There's only one platinum dragon.
Glory will run up to it and see if it's even breathing.
Make a perception check as you're approaching.
I will run past her.
Oops, I didn't mean to roll that with advantage, sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I was going to say to help, but no worries. The dice has already been
if you're
cast.
going to help, I'll give the 18 then. So, with an 18, as you're going, you basically hear a thunk off your shin or like off your foot as you move. And you reach, like, you're like, what the fuck? And reach down because it's very clear. It's like a bowling ball at your foot. And you reach down. And you rest out of the hand of a Gith. An orb. With the design of a dragon wrapped around it. And as you look around, there are multiple Gith, and you count maybe 8, 10 Gith with orbs.
It's my priority. Still checking if this is a dragon corpse or seriously injured or what.
Okay.
I'll come back to the dragon orbs. I know how powerful them bitches are. Do I?
Yeah.
Probably.
You would, because
I can't
Harshnag
remember
has definitely
what I
divulged
have
this
done on
information.
what character anymore.
Um,
And what
you
is
guys have by
historic
proxy
blood and sand
what is.
knowledge.
What I will say is that you are aware via Harshnag.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like
what
we've
these are.
encountered them before. But yeah.
Yeah,
If not,
Harshnag would have in 19 years.
priority
told
is
you
making
guys.
sure that whether maybe Bahama is alive or not.
Mhm.
Because that would be really
So.
bad.
You're also running, aren't you, Ashk?
Yes, I am.
What's Turk's movement speed?
That's a new one. Like 50, 60?
Oh, it's more than
40.
mine. Oh, 40.
Sorry,
It's the same
was
as mine. Same speed as
So
me.
on your board, you can run as fast as your wife. As the rest of you make your way in, the ash that's kind of like coated over the body, you can't help but notice that there's like a slight magical hum to it, which is good for the purpose of you're aware, because you're physically looking at it, that there is a dragon here. But anytime your eye slightly turns, you do not see a pile of ash. Like, unless it is fully in your view. If it's in your peripheral, he's not there. You feel like that might be like some form or other of warding.
Mm.
If you want to make a medicine check, go ahead.
I'll try.
If
Hey,
anyone
wife,
else
can I
wants to
have
do
the
it.
help
Can I
action?
help? Yes. Yes,
Actually,
yes.
what's your modifier?
What specific
Medicine?
modifier for medicine? It's a straight 0, so don't worry.
Oh, mine's actually better.
Exactly.
Wild.
It's 10.
Okay, I'll take advantage. 19.
19. So you get close basically to where mouth or nostril would be, and like it's incredibly difficult on a dragon due to the
Yeah, I will
sheer
put my
thickness
big
of-
gauntlet hand on the scales and see if it feels like
Hmm.
cold.
Yeah. You put your Order of the Gauntlet like hand up on it, like that old gauntlet you still have, and it is not cold. Like even like after like moving slight bits of the ash, it's interesting. Like you brush the ash to try and touch onto the skin itself, and the ash just like covers over again.
Hmm.
So there is like a casing around it, and like you kind of put your hand under, and as you do, you are aware of what an intense heat would feel like. It doesn't bother you because you're immune to fire.
Mhm.
But you imagine if anyone else were to attempt to touch this would probably hurt a lot. To the equivalent of walking on lava. And you put your hand in, and you can, as you're like there, you're focusing, and you're like pushing like your hand, like you have to take your hand off the gauntlet just to put on, for the sake of you can't feel through not only the
Mhm.
thickness of scale, even under scale, and that like you reach, and the very faintest pulse you can imagine you can feel. Like it's in the point of, is this like, you know, arterial after effects of a heart just still thrumming that isn't able to properly, like, is it like the last beats of it before it goes, or like the last pump from the heart that's now circulating around the body, or is this still alive? You're not sure, but there is something very faint in it.
I look at Ash. I know that if Ash was gonna put her hand where mine is, it would fucking hurt her, right?
Correct.
Time. Yeah, why not, right? Maybe there's a better use for this, but it feels right. I still have the blessing of the Quaddle, the heal. I know
Yes,
I'm
you
saying
do.
that wrong. I can't
No,
remember what it.
no, you're. I know exactly what you're referring to.
And that I think the highest charge of that is heal, right?
It's the
Which
heal spell.
to the HP of Bahamut is probably nothing, but if I can like get my hand as close to like where the heart would be and try and just give it some that blessing, basically.
long
I'm
as
just trying
there's
to
a lit-
pass the blessing on.
Yeah, as long as there's a little, that's a lot better than none
Yeah.
at all.
For a god, yeah. I'd rather a god
Oh.
had it this seal than anyone else.
You put your you basically try to reach under, you have to go in under the ash, and people who begin arriving.
Yeah,
just
I will
ignore,
yell
like,
out
go.
to Ash
You
as well
basically-
and be like, "You might want to look for survivors because this would hurt you a lot, honey."
Already on it. Already on it.
So-
Just let me know if you need just
I'll
little
yell
bit
if
of
I need
support
you.
there.
You'll go in. You
think
literally
I
have to
have
go
this.
into the ash, and into it, and you're just you have to push through, and eventually okay, that's the neck portion. You're aiming down, you're aiming around essentially where the bridge would be, because you remember other types of dragons who have that kind of body structure, and it's weird. As you're there and you're pushing past the ash, and you're actually looking at the body. The scales are if you look at a magpie or a crow too close, and you can see that prismatic color. Where yes, there is platinum, but it is all colors are simultaneously present, and then not, and also are.
I know who this is, right?
Yeah, you have a very very strong opinion that this could very well be Bahamut.
Mhm.
And you put your hand onto the chest of this, for the dragon's lesser deity, but amongst other people greater. Put your hand to the chest and you perform the heal spell, which you received from a Quattle many, many years ago. A just in case, an ancient guardian of a race of dead gods. You put your hand, and that radiant energy of that heal swoops in, and you can just see the ash just begin falling away, and almost as if it's sliding off, it all just gained the composition of water and just washes away.
I think I'm gonna as well. I'm gonna as I cast it, I'm gonna put my forehead against the back of my hand, and kind of like when Gwyn was really little, just be like, "It's okay, I've got you."
You you have that moment, and you have that thing, and there's, as the ash just begins falling, everyone else around, the air is dull with ash. It's gray, and there's a prismatic light in the center of it. And as you're there, Glory does this. You can just see that light was very, very dim, and just begins. Dully, the light struggles, and then as that press against it is done, there's a shot, a clear with a pair of paddles just against the chest of it. The whole body jostles, and then slumps. And then there's a deep, heavy breath, very slow, very long. And then a slow, long exhale. And as it happens, it's almost like it's instinct as it does. Around the dragon, you can see there are several small entities, small little things, like little bulbs of light that float up from the ash, fallen in those forms. All of them begin lighting up from around. And 7 figures, as you look around, as the rest of you all look around, there are now 7 ancient gold dragons surrounding you. As you're in that moment, you have this realization that it's easy enough to correlate between the two, that Bahamut had raised up a hand, this figure, Bahamut, and the guardians who are designated to him all rised up at once as well. Varys, you would be aware of what a dragon orb can do. These orbs may not have been used for Bahamut specifically, but they would have stopped his guardians from shifting from their canary forms, which he often keeps around as a guardian. All around you, you can just see 7 mournful children, like almost mournful in that way, like of sheer terror. And like they essentially, most of them reach to their hands or their claws. These enormous entities, buildings crumble around you, reach out towards him. And there's just a glow of platinum colored light from each of them that is very dim out towards him. And their eyes open up, and there was a flash of platinum in each of them that dims. And their gold scales lose their sheen. And as they do, the body in the middle of this gargantuan, larger-than-life dragon bumps to life and almost collapses over onto his side in that, like, jostle moment. Essentially, Glory, you gave the stopgap that was needed, just enough to get across that barricade, that barrier, as the surge of positive energy also negates anything that is affecting him from that heal, allowing him to recover. And as the entity begins to get up, begins trying to pull himself up, and in that way of like someone, like an elderly grandfather who's fallen over and everyone is around concerned, the arms are shaky as they begin trying to push themselves up, and there are underneath them there's just like the hands of the others, like, because they literally onto their hinds like reach over and just like lift some, shift into other creatures that can more easily assist him. And as that happens, well, this out.
I do good.
You did a little bit more than good, honey. You did a lot more good than.
I was literally
You
staring
did a
at
lot more
the
than
thing
good,
I had written on my
he
character
was.
sheet to be like, hey, you still have it. And I was literally staring at it like, I guess this is a session where I'm going to use it. It's like, oh yeah, you encounter mostly dead Bahamut. It's like, oh okay, this is when I need to use it. Logically. And also it means you don't burn a fucking, 7th level spell.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Glory.
What's up? Give me some bullshit.
Roll a d7.
A D7?
Seven
Right.
gold dragons, yo.
Oh yeah. I don't know shit about Bahamut. Out of character. I know, I've been watching the
Do you
eyebrows of people who
want-
do.
Do you want the perpetual benefit as if you were attuned to a periapt of wound closing, or a blessing that allows you to essentially as if you were attuned to a horn of Valhalla? One allows you to summon things to aid you fighting, the other is a periapt of closing, which helps you when you drop.
Hang on, I need to Google both of these things.
The periapt of wound closure will stabilize you at the start of your turn. Whenever you roll hit die, you get double the number of hit points. So
more heal things for me.
See, the other thing is that you can basically summon, essentially, you can summon 5d4 plus 5 berserkers with the celestial tag.
Your sister would
Once
love
a
you.
day.
If you were the one that could summon warriors in Valhalla.
That would have been
Um,
hilarious, yeah.
Once per 7 days, you may summon 5d4 plus 5 berserkers. Essentially, they are the exact same statistic of a berserker in the D&D Monster
I
Manual.
think, as much as the Corn of Valhalla is very cool, I think the build and B, the character would go for the wound closure.
Cool. Also, increase your constitution by 2.
Sick.
Even if you only have, if you have 19, go 21.
No, I go to 19 from
That means you get to increase your health by 19 as well, because your con modifier's gone up.
Oh, what's 209 plus 19?
28.
28. 228.
228. Beef, beef, beef. But this basically means whenever I drop, because I have a thing of when I'm stabilized, I also immediately regain like 20 hit points.
Yeah, this,
so now
this is bullshit for you.
I can't die. Unless you
That's
kill
not
me
happening
in
very
one
right.
shot.
Yeah,
You
Beef
guys
wives, yo.
unless they
Beef
target
wives,
you.
yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm now just picturing that scene from Misfits when he says, "I'm immortal."
Question: am I immortal?
I'm gonna put it with the rest of my healer feat because that feels right.
Yeah.
Cannot die.
Also, I'm just gonna
yeah.
message you this.
When you are successfully stabilized, you immediately regain 3 hit points. And then I also gain more because whenever I gain hit points, I gain more hit points. The irony. Thank you. The
That's
irony
okay.
of that, does. Thank you.
You're welcome. For you, that's hilarious.
That's really funny.
As that happens, as you're there, the figures just all begin glowing, and the seven sons teleport their father back to the celestial realm.
Are the dragon orbs still here?
That was going to be my next question.
They are.
Get them
Okay.
bitches.
Yeah, the mages are
Um,
going to swoop in and start examining them, I
Yeah, I was
feel.
gonna say, can I start running and grabbing them and start combining them into one
Varus,
One
big
mega.
massive array?
wait,
Go there.
if you collect all 7 of dragon orbs, you get a wish, right?
Yeah, right.
Doug.
Enmon
Galbraith calls out,
appears.
goes, "What do you want?"
No, I'm going to tell the water elemental I've got with me. I'm going to tell to start putting out any remaining fires,
Which it can go around doing.
and I'm going to start gathering up the dragon orbs.
What you feel like is, unfortunately, you are currently in Pompeii. You
Yeah.
are in point blank of it. It's like, as much as you do hear that, you do hear like from essentially as you're like moving around, like underneath one of the inside essentially what was once a building, you just hear like essentially banging on the floor from probably like a trapdoor or something. Ali, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes. So,
You just like your
right. Will I be have enough to kind of open it, or do I just keep banging on it?
you might be able to open it, but also you got knocked out by the
Yeah.
blast. Not hurt, but like just the sheer force of it knocked you against something and you were out for a bit.
Question. Sorry, Ollie. This is just to answer the question of Ollie's character's strength being able to open the door. Ashka is technically doing a scouting mission, checking for survivors.
Essentially, what happens is that you can be there like, oh shit, is there anyone alive? And you hear boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So there's like several pillars that are like collapsed on like, beams and supports. They're all there. And like you grab the bottom one, lift it. And as that happens, Ollie, your character just whoops. Because you're trying to bang it open.
Yeah.
Because it's been way down. You just like fling it open then. And what does Ashk Korriban, this mighty dwarven paladin, see?
So, as the hatch opens, each step goes up as this figure just becomes taller and taller and taller. A black scaled dragonborn emerges from this hole. He's very tall, 6'4", but kind of gaunt and thin compared to other dragonborn kinds. This leather armor tattered, worn, and just falling off of him near enough. Does not feel like it's built for him or fit for him. It feels like it was fit for someone else. As you're looking across his body, the scars, marks, damages over his black, oily type skin, until on his right arm, however, is slightly different. It has a green hue to it with a blue shimmer running across the scales of it, kind of like circuitry.
Ooh.
Then as he takes his hood off. This very small hood that's just big enough to cover him, but clearly not built for him. You see on his left eye this golden, beautiful eye, but on the right a massive, huge, deep scar going across his eye socket, and in its place is this glowing blue eye that seems to sporadically look around and stare down at this dwarf in front of him. Thank you very much for taking that off of us. What's happened up here? We've been down there
You're
for
lucky
a
to
while.
you're lucky to be alive. And she immediately goes, "We've got a survivor! We've got a survivor!" What's your name, friend?
My name is Omin Skardai. It's lovely to meet you.
Hi,
Share
Scott.
that character for everyone, so now they can all see the icon.
If you want to blow it up as well,
I'm not sure I can without like taking off your vision of it, but the guys can just check.
Okay.
You said you did that with AI?
Yeah, it's an AI generator. I'll just so for people to say, I'll just put it in the Plight Princess so people can have a bit of a look of it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'm gonna be using that.
There we go. Roll20 decided to complain.
Me, who actually commissioned people. Look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power.
Yeah, it's AI generated, and then I just edited a little bit in Paint.net to give it like some of the colors and stuff like that. It came out very nice. Like, I'm very happy with it. Anyway,
well met, Skardai. Koroman, this is Turk. Oh,
pleasure.
And he's the size of a hippo is looking at you.
He's gonna put his hood back over himself and kind of stretch his arm out. And as he stretches his arm out, I feel like his right hand seems to kind of like twitch, and like weird metallic noises seem to come from it as he starts to stretch his hands. Like, as you're doing so, I feel he then just opens a small little hatch on his forearm as he inspects inside of it before closing it off. I need to prepare that again. So, what's happened up here?
Well, what hasn't happened around here is more accurate.
You guys can do that as you go, and for the rest of you who are present, after Cloth is gone, or after Cloth has been gone, Bahamut is taken away, not killed. That's important. You two run around because you're like, ooh, orbs. Give me investigation checks. I did not pronounce any syllable.
Wow, so many sounds left your mouth. None of them were correct.
I'll give Varys the help action.
I forgot you had me in attacks.
Can we have Das have a help action on his speech?
No.
Well, okay, what's your...
You're giving K advantage, I imagine.
It's not a lot. What's yours?
8.
Yeah, help Roman.
I'm going to help Roman find the orb.
Advantage.
Find the chaos orbs.
I am not proficient, unfortunately.
Yeah, I am.
Otherwise. So you go around examining them.
Remind myself that it's Roman and not Widow.
Yeah. It's like, this is the mischief, motherfucker.
Gotta remember not to trust Aaron in this campaign.
An old crackhead.
No one's got a gun.
That I can now increase by another to 1,200 feet.
Wait, you do actually have a gun?
He calls it Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast, I can now put oh no, maybe not.
Anyway. Tangent.
Anyway.
We'll see it.
You guys go around looking. What you notice about the dragon orbs is, as you're there, all of them are cracked. And Varys,
What are you doing?
doesn't take either your assistance with the magic and Roman's just like composite with magical craft of items, both of you together can register. These were cracked with radiant magic, and it's the exact same crack in the exact same place. So it gives you the indication that potentially Bahamut tried to crack these, to break them, to stop his sons from being held. And what you notice is that these are identical, down to the point of, for especially you two, I'm going to ask you both to give me an Arcana check, separate.
I don't know.
Hey, still a 12.
You got some dust in your eye.
Still a 12.
There are no other numbers.
Okay.
Hello.
Look at
That's-
the bottom
that is
line.
the-
Embassy tab in the diplomacy screen.
That would have been a 31 had Varus rolled it. And that would have been a 3. Anyway, so, together, I'm going to say that with a little bit of assistance, you're aware that magical items are made the same way. Same blueprint, same block, but they all have like their own like very specific or unique little mark to them. Like almost the equivalent of whenever a magic item is made, like it has a count on it, you know, like a stamp, a serial number. These, if this were that equivalent when it came to like the presence of a magical item, especially you two who are so high level and are so proficient with Arcana, this is the exact same item. And as you're looking at it, 9 of these shouldn't be here in your minds. It's like the equivalent of 9 of these are an invasive species. They should not be here. And
How many are there? Sorry.
there are 10.
10.
Sinatra's law? What is going on here?
Well, they're from different planes of existence.
As you're there,
Thank you,
they are
Darren,
the-
for getting my unsleeping city joke.
as you're there,
If you can make it here.
9 of these begin cracking, like crumbling away, like fragile glass, even just under the weight of like being held. Like their own weight is crushing underneath them. 1 is heavily cracked but remains.
We can fuck some shit up with one dragon orb, I feel.
Hmm.
We've only got one dragon to fuck up.
I will say as well.
Lori doesn't
if-
say this because she's doing
Yes.
other things.
I will say for the sake of it as well, because most of you would have like dealt with this as well. Wouldn't have just been Gloria that was aware. This is a different one to Harshnag's Dragon Orb.
Hmm.
Harshnag's one has the chromatic dragons around it. This has the metallics.
Hmm.
So mark down that you have
So
a
it just-
cracked Dragon Orb.
Okay. And what you're saying is we don't get a wish for collecting all 10.
9 of them
Okay.
just broke, so unfortunately not.
I mean, they turned into fucking stone in the other one. So, I mean, them
You're too
breaking
deep
doesn't
in this
matter.
joke. I've lost it. I've lost the thread.
Dragon Ball.
Exactly. That's why I've lost it.
Okay.
They
Uh,
all shoot across the world, and you have to go and find Roman Scouter and go back and track. them
yeah, I know
down.
that much. Right. Okay.
Cracked your dragon. Okay.
And it doesn't seem like it seems like where Omen came from is if there was survivors, that would be where they were, more or less.
You imagine that if there's anyone who survived, they're like in like basements or
Basements.
just by chance happen to be underneath them.
They're not going to be like injured. Everyone's either fine or dead. Yeah.
They're 1 or 0. There is no in between.
Yeah,
If you got hit by this and you weren't immune to
What is
it,
going
like,
on in the sky?
The sky above you, it's still heavily ashed, but there are no ships.
No
Any-
cloth.
No cloth. Cloth is gone. Cloth booked it west. As you guys are around, there are broken ships, Geth ships, and they are Githyanki. As you go around, you can identify the armaments that you saw when you had been freed from the hourglass, the similarities between them and the city when it had been attacked. Several of them are either taken out by the blast itself, or were obviously broken in half. But as you guys are looking around, I'm going to ask for. Let's see. No, I'll say with that 21 actually. That 21 I'll keep. You guys go around and basically you're salvaging. You're looking around. Is there anything left? Is there anyone? There
Repressing
are.
my kid instincts to strip these ships from parts.
As you're going around, I will say that you kind of do in that what you as players might be aware of, but your characters aren't, is that all Gith ships require a magical orb, essentially an equivalent of a steering wheel to fly. And those are incredibly hard to break, as in they need to be focused with, like, say, particular destructive magics to destroy them specifically, or very high tier powerful effects. But a spell would not just shatter them, unless it specifically did things to targeted objects. You can find what I will describe as 3 Gith. I'm not sure what the best word be to describe them, but we'll just say right now, ship batteries, we'll call them.
Like intact.
Intact functioning. These would have been on, say, the 1 or 2 of the larger ships had 2 of them, and one ship had 1. But the smaller, like, individual manned vessels are.
Are you
disintegrated.
implying that if we encounter an attacked Gith ship, we have keys?
Would be an accurate way to describe it.
How big are these batteries?
Probably only way.
Is it like are we talking like tennis ball or are we talking bowling ball?
Or
Not
are we talking
bowling ball, but with the weight of a basketball.
Watermelon.
They're not heavy.
bounce? They bounce like a basketball.
Only one way to find out.
Shit, we've only got 2 left.
Well, you said that doesn't break with a spell, so dropping it's probably fine.
Yeah.
We're back to
It's like
having
an
these
8-level
hands.
magic missile wouldn't break it, you know.
They're not a bowling ball, but they're incredibly light. They're like the equivalent of being
But a
healing,
basket.
but like you could like feel like the crackle of arcane, just like pure arcane energy in them when you even touch them. Those who have hair sticks up. Roman sticks up further.
Fleet isn't really helping you look. She's just sort of tapping her feet impatiently.
Doing the sonic just.
I'm waiting.
Can I don't frequent this part of the world, to put it mildly. But with what little knowledge I have, I know tactically that fighting cloth in the Vale isn't smart. But is there anywhere between here and Cloth's lair where it would be smart to fight Cloth?
Not from here to Cloth Slayer, but like in the region, your best bet is probably to go to, northwest and literally get him to be in the area of the Frost Giants, who, if they see you guys trying to tackle him, would just pile bodies. But
So more between Cloth and Vale and Hundlestone?
yes, beyond Iron Mast.
Oh, Jesus, up in the Icewind Dale? Okay.
Yeah, that's how far up the Frost Giants are. Like, that's how far you'd have to go to get them.
It's just not that many.
Cloth made sure that if there's anywhere better suited for him, it's around. And anywhere which would be disadvantageous, it would be very difficult to make Cloth go.
It'd be better to fight me. I think Gloria just stands and just starts doing tactics math until someone says anything.
What's the situation like bodies wise here? Are there like civilians like everywhere or like on the floor or
He's just ash. I think literally Pompeii, right?
Pompeii.
Like it's
Pompeii. You touch them, like, except unlike Pompeii where they were like almost mummified within, these you touch, they've just been carbonated. Just
Yeah.
like gone.
they're ash ghosts. They're what's left after a nuke goes off. Where the shadow
Yeah.
fortress
Is there basically no mirror bar now?
Mirabar is off the map. I'll have to change that to the Wake of Cloth on the map. I will say as well, for those of you who are aware, everyone is aware that Cloth has a power and that he's not to be trifled with. Cloth has never done something of this great. He's never thrown his weight to this degree.
Yeah.
Something about
'Cause even when
this-
he fucked with us, that was like remarkable, wasn't it? When that happened.
Yeah, like him showing up was like, oh, this is something interesting. I might play around a bit. But this has drawn not only his full attention, but his anger.
I'm gonna turn to Le Group and just be like, I'm not smart enough to put this all together. Do you think Cloth was mad because of the Gith or because of what happened to our friend the Platinum Dragon?
It could be both.
I think both.
I think both.
I think he's angry at the Gith because of them.
I don't know where Cloth's loyalties lie. I don't know enough about him.
Not with the Gith.
It's an upset of the balance.
They. Varys,
Yeah.
we know they made a deal, right?
Who knows
Yeah,
things?
this is me raising the player of like DM. Players are very much aware of the lore between Gith and Red Dragons. How much do the characters know about the lore of Gith and Red Dragons?
Varys knows, and I would say that Varys would be able to give a bit in that Tiamat has deals with Vlakith. That's how high up the totem pole it goes. And Red Dragons train to be riders for Gith.
There is some kind of
Yeah, there is
deal.
agreement made.
Literally, it's written in the lore books that people don't know what the deal is, so even wizards haven't said what
No.
it is. But there's some kind of deal that mean Red
There is
Dragons
an
will work with
agreement, and
Gith.
whatever it is, they have camaraderie in that they serve as riders for their knights.
Yeah, there's some kind of deal between them. So the fact that Cloth was angry at them is notable, because in theory, Cloth's god instructs him to work with them, and he's not happy with them. So something important must have happened. Is the above table
He didn't
explanation?
yell calling them traitors. Assuming that's what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
It's a threat to their power and their domination over this particular area.
Then
So no wonder they're throwing their toys out the pram.
He
then
needs to go.
is that what you think?
Look what he's done. He's got a spire as well now.
Might be with you.
We can't let this happen again.
I might be with you there. Okay. How do we do this? How do we go about this?
The smart
Could
option
we-
is not to go to his lair.
We gotta let people know. We can't just go. This is a big thing. We gotta try to let as many people. Let Harshnag know. Let Legacy know. They might not be able to do anything, but we should let people know, because this is a big thing. This is serious.
Yeah, this is a big decision we're making.
As you guys are there and you're discussing, your water elemental still going around, cleaning things off, trying to put out fires. You see that it seems to be focusing on one thing, as there's a big plume of steam by one point. And you can see that there is, once the steam kind of like somewhat clears and like you kind of stop it to investigate, is a young, dead red dragon.
I'll approach it and can we work out how it died?
Make a medicine check.
Oh, I'm good at this.
I think Varys is good at.
I'm gonna go over to our newcomer, who is apparently our lone survivor, and I'm gonna ask them what they saw.
Cool.
And
So, Tharis, I'm going to go to you first because you're there. It's not difficult to tell because there's only one wound on this dragon. There's obviously falling from height and, a crash down. But there's a single cut on the back of its neck, right under the scales, between where the spine and the brainstem would be. And it is saddled to be used by a rider. I will say, for the sake of between both you, Kika, and Ollie's Amin? Is Amin the right way to pronounce that? Amin?
Yeah, Amin.
Okay.
Amin.
Amin was underground. For the sake of this, he was underneath in a safe house. Not much I'm just saving you guys time more than
Okay.
anything else, not to cut, but was underground when this happened. Things became getting incredibly tense up above. Something celestial was occurring, and as it was there, it was one of those things of, oh, all the gangs are getting out into the middle of the street in a western, fucking board up, go down to high kind of thing, get to ground.
Okay. Well, by extension, she'll then question Fleet, who was on the surface, and presumably at a distance. But even at a distance, she'll see a dragon in the sky. So she'll ask Fleet what Fleet saw.
I was having lunch. Some stuff was happening. Nothing I couldn't outrun.
I want to also make a point that when Blue's character approached me, Omen's eye, Kirak, when they approached me, his right eye seemed to kind of focus in onto them, look up and down on them, and
It's
kind
the
of
equivalent of giving yourself a flashbang in your mechanical eye.
Yes.
Sorcerer.
It's one of those things of, let's see about the oh fuck, that's a lot. Okay.
Blinded by the light.
The equivalent of, I'm going to use detect good and evil on a god in that, all of it, wham in the face, all that magic, woof into the eyes, like
Someone loaded into VRC with too many particles.
Basically.
So true, so true.
So like you kind of start having to squint because you can't turn it off while you're talking with Kirak.
Yeah, at that point he kind of like takes a bit of the leather off of himself and kind of like wraps it around his eye slightly for a second. Just kind of keep.
You have a bandana. This is the first time you had it. You have like
Yeah.
You okay? Is your eye injured?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You
At
can
that point-
can ask Ash if you need somebody to look at that.
I said I'm fine.
Okay, if
As he
you're sure.
walks away slowly off to the side.
The bright blue magical bird goes, "What a strange person."
I'm presuming, Han, that I would have noticed that Omen is, for lack of a better word, wearing some very unusual hardware.
Oh yeah, this is the equivalent of like you've seen druids who like use dried like bark and vines for prosthetics. This is definitely a prosthetic arm. How high up it goes underneath the armor, you can't tell, but there's definitely more no machine design than what you would know or be familiar with, but armor's solid.
But I know the maker.
Bitch, you're probably the maker.
I was gonna say, is this something that Roman had made in like a haze?
Yeah, he might have been on drugs at the time.
Yeah.
Erwin, I don't think I can emphasize this enough. You gave me the tool of, here's one of the greatest crafters of all time. They get in a haze, and they have basically 400 years. You make a bunch of shit you can't remember. What's in yours? You don't know.
It could be.
I feel like whenever he was coming off the drug fuel, he's probably like,
Wittick's
did I
probably
put
got a
sand-
better idea.
like, yeah, because
Wittick's got a full catalog.
Like full catalog and probably has like
Wittick
putting the stamp
is
on it
the
for everything.
catalog. Wittick is the catalog and
That's
the
true.
indexing system that you use to browse the catalog.
That's very hilariously true.
I feel like he looks at the arm like, damn, that's a cool arm. So what am I? So it's like expecting like, where's my mark? I usually put a mark. Where is it? Just what am I?
You want to look for your mark? Do you
Oh,
put a
I
mark?
imagine Roman's mark is never the same twice. Like,
Oh,
it's
no,
like
no, it probably is because Roman's not the one putting it on. It's
Wittick.
it's like at the
Every
store.
time I
just
hang
like,
out with
1
Roman,
second.
I have
Boom.
more appreciation for Wittick.
I know, right?
I
Like,
feel like
has this,
Roman just goes up mumbling something to Wittick and hands him some bizarre object.
Yes,
It's
Dad.
like, are you wanting me to mark this?
After a period of time, you can basically lift like a little hatch at the elbow, and as you do, you're like, oh yeah, there it is.
At which
There's
point,
our G.
Good quality, Nick. That is.
at which point, I feel like kind of like pauses on away, like
Explains a lot.
not wanting to be touched that much, being like, please do not touch my arm.
Omen,
I
you
mean,
are
as the creator of it, I have
yes.
some liberties to it, but
Omen,
that is what it is.
please, please be introduced to the actual maker of your arm, I believe.
Kind of like just uses his normal eye to kind of look him up and down, scoffs a little bit, and walks away.
I take a bit of cocaine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you microdosing?
Are you
Yes.
microdosing right now? Is that a drug in your mouth?
What are you chewing? Choose it
He's
faster.
typically macrodosing, so let's just.
Unsleeping City people. He references.
Ashka
funny.
just completely nonplussed is like, yeah, that's all you need to know.
Right. As that's going on, Varus, you can absolutely register that is a sword wound.
Yeah.
Okay. Team huddle up.
Also, just a really good shout. It was probably really a good idea to kill Zalto and destroy that spire this morning before the nuke went off, because now that's permanent casualty.
Okay. I agree with Kirok that I nearly said Kika. With Kirok that
I mean, that's the
we
only
should let people know if we've got ways to do it that won't burn everything we have.
Indeed, provide any defensive strategy where we can, provide any protection for civilians where we can, and
More, I would
What
recommend
protection? They're dead. The civilians
I
are dead.
mean
fighting away from remaining.
for other
Then-
cities.
The way we do that is we go and kill Cloth.
Yes, no, I'm agreeing on that fundamentally.
It's sort
As
of
the
what we're
steps.
establishing.
It's the thing we should have done years ago.
Look, Varus, we can argue about whether or not you were right years ago, or we can actually do this now. I think we message someone who can message people for us, so that we don't burn everything before we go and fight the most powerful thing we've ever fought. Perhaps my
Fleet.
mum, perhaps.
Fleet steps in and says, not to do myself out of work as a messenger, but I think everyone knows there was a massive fireball.
Yes.
You
And
could
I would-
probably see the smoke from the other side of Faerun.
And I would hope the people that are old friends of ours know us well enough to know we'd probably go straight to the source of whatever had done it, but it's worth having reinforcements on the back burner.
Plus, on first glance, they necessarily wouldn't know the same amount of information that we have come to know right now. Hence why any intel that we can provide on their end, they can potentially provide advice on from their side.
Yes.
But
It's gonna be dope.
Hey, buddy.
favorite
Can I-
Naren voice.
Can I use commune as a ritual to contact Auntie?
Say so.
To contact Auntie
Just like say again.
I'm sorry, what?
to use it like a payphone, where you had instead of calling direct, having to call via and be like in the message.
You're
"Hey,
asking to be redirected?
No,
You're
no.
calling the switchboard?
Yeah, technically, yes. I'm doing it in terms of you have a collect call from.
I will
Hi,
say this. Commune requires a divine proxy or a deity. Auntie is very deliberately neither of those things.
Oh, okay.
Very good, clever shout. Not gonna deny you the fact that you were like, but what if?
Let's see, who do I know? Who's a
What god have
divine
you not
proxy?
kicked off enough? I wouldn't even put Ashk forward here because I doubt you've not kicked off Ashk's cards at some point. I mean, we're in good books with Timora.
I mean, with Muradin, it's probably like the macro dosing that's done it.
I mean, presumably after everything we did, we're somewhat favourable with an arm.
Okay.
Because of Hecaton.
Oh yeah, true.
And Hecaton, who's a
Oh yeah, and
practically
also
a
was used to be Willick's patron.
Yeah,
Is
No, it
probably
still is.
still is
still,
patron?
still is patron. So if you're
If
you're
anything-
patron to
Can you
someone who
get-
worships an arm, maybe give
If
an arm a ring.
anything, if anything, that was where I thought that your brain was going there.
Yeah, I
Owen.
thought
In
you
that
were
if
going to
anyone
you
would-
with the guy who's your warlock patron.
If anyone would know explicitly what's going on, especially in regards to any sort of battling with dragons, it's the giants.
Yeah, maybe give Hecaton a ring. You know.
Yes.
I mean,
Is
you
Heck-
can't
is Heck-
commune with your patron.
Okay.
Auntie didn't work, so we're gonna go call Uncle instead.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me. Give me a sec.
Yeah, you go.
I'm
do
gonna be
that.
over here for like 10 minutes.
It's more Grandfather Thunder at this point, which I love.
It's like Gloria's having like a coach
All right.
like halftime huddle up meeting, and there when Roman's like, "Hang on, I gotta take this."
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
It's less a coach huddle up meeting and more a case of army intel.
I'm gonna kind of look at Varys, be like, you probably know the most about the logistics of this, so I'm going to defer to you for the most part. Fighting in his lair sounds ridiculous to me, but I
It's an awful
also
idea.
can't think of an alternative.
Would have to get him out of his lair, which to do without us risking something big is going to be very difficult.
Less vague, please.
Without us literally wishing him out of his lair,
Gotcha.
which could take me out of the fight if I did it.
That would be bad. Is the benefit of him being in his lair negated by the fact that he may be slightly injured, tired, has just come from a fight?
Potentially.
Does that make it even, or does the lair advantage still make that better?
That's a very good question. I honestly wish I could answer that.
Also,
Um.
I would be slightly remiss to point out, on the surface level, we appear to be on the same side, even though we are not. And we would be slightly remiss to not perhaps exploit that.
The enemy of my enemy is a friend.
I don't mean to be a friend, I just mean to lure him out of his lair with the premise of
Ally in
talking.
this case.
Yeah,
Might also be
An
good to. It
easy
might also be good to
ally.
at least find out
An
what
ally.
happened.
If the Gith went after the God of Dragons, that's a bigger play than they've made so far as I can tell. Yeah, because out of character, we don't know shit about the demon lords and shit like that.
We don't
That's
know
not
about
even
much.
happened.
It's not happened yet because we're a few days behind.
So
No,
them
we
going
were
for a
for
god is a
hours.
massive thing.
This is
Literally,
the
I'm
same
doing
day.
the 24 thing of dun, dun, of like the
Tuesday.
countdown.
All right. It's been 3 months.
Okay. We can use, if not to get him out of the lair, we can use the potential of a tentative friendship as an opening.
That's my thought as well.
Friendship is the wrong word. Help me, Johan.
The hand of friendship, strategic alliance.
Alliance, that's the word.
Well,
So I shouldn't tell the Storm King we're gonna try to kill him.
I mean, you
This-
could, yeah, no, 100%
we-
tell the Storm King that.
we're
That's
gonna go-
our
Okay.
intent. We're just deciding on how we're gonna lie about it.
Are you typing this out to me right now, Rome?
I'm already getting a book.
Texting.
So are we getting pepperoni, or
Going to take a photo of it?
we're
and
getting
send that
2
to me?
pizzas and extra garlic bread, right?
Always extra garlic bread.
You want cheesy garlic bread or regular garlic bread?
Are we getting
Cheesy.
mozzarella sticks or no?
Easy, cheesy.
Aussies.
all the way.
I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm just gonna need the wings.
Okay, so
Only
get
if
that
it's
some
not
chicken
extra
wings as
money,
well.
in which case I'll just put cheese on it at home.
Oh, fuck it, wings. Oh.
this isn't me saying it for the spell, but so far, the first question I've wrote down is, can you tell the frost giants that we plan to kill Cloth for the destruction of Mirbar?
How long does the spell take? Cross.
And
10
technically, he 11 minutes technically, because I have to cast it as a ritual.
Do you want me just to?
We don't want to burn too many spells.
That's,
I mean, I could-
that's the
It's a ritual
main
while you
reason
guys
I'm
are
doing it.
discussing, because you guys are discussing it, and that will take about 10, and then we'll.
I mean,
go on to
I
it.
could use the staff to plane shift somewhere. Up at
Oh
this
my
spot,
God,
and then
I'm
plane shift
stupid.
back
I'm
to somewhere
dumb.
else.
What's up?
I mean, yeah.
Oh wait, don't you have a fucking rock? Doesn't some?
What's sending stone?
I think I can.
Huh?
Das, make eye contact with me.
Use your words.
I can't.
God
Das,
damn
make eye
it.
contact with me right now. I could get Cloth out of his lair with the thing I have recently gained. Yes. That is not beyond the limits of that. Just give me a vague, some kind of vague eyebrow
Use
gesture.
Discord. Stop being goddamn vague.
No.
Type a
No,
yes or a
I'm
no.
specifically going to be vague just to piss you off.
Okay. I could.
Remove from channel.
I know more D&D for you.
You don't need to know our plans. We're just going to kill this dragon.
I might be able to encourage some intervention that would help us in this instance.
Do we need to be where we want him to
It
go?
would probably be smart if we set some kind of trap and then I willed
Where
it.
do we want him to go?
That's a much better question. There's nothing strategically sound that isn't a civilian headquarters from around here. Unless we fight him here in this dust bowl, which also doesn't feel particularly smart.
How does your tactic work if we're on a different plane?
What'd you say, sorry?
How does your thing work if we're on a different plane of existence?
That's a bit beyond me.
You legitimately do not know.
No, I have no idea.
You can tell them what it is if you'd like, just
Oh,
for the sake of.
I mean, I can. I have a guaranteed divine intervention from Bahamut.
Ah, yeah, that would do it.
I forgot. I literally got it 10 minutes ago and I
Yeah,
forgot.
that would probably do it.
Because okay was like, I
shift-
don't want to
Have a
use
cookie.
wish on this. I was like, oh wait, I have like a
We have a
If anyone-
wish
better.
parallel thing. Yeah, that would
If-
probably get him out of his lair.
If anyone
Uh-huh.
can plane shift him, it would be.
Bahamut.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming Bahamut's providing. Bahamut
Hope
gave it
so.
to me, so it'd be weird for him to outsource.
Outsource.
What, you don't outsource your divine interventions?
Yeah, of course I do, but I'm shit.
Real quick, if we do plane shift somewhere, do we know if the frost giants have a way of getting?
No, of course they
That's what I figured.
don't. No, it would be us, but it would neutralize his lair advantage, which we would have negated
Right.
with the frost
You'd be
giant.
alone.
But
And
also,
any allies who
What
did with
plane
him.
in the multiverse is safe to fight Cloth in where we won't attract the gift?
Yeah.
Or that it doesn't provide more hazards than it's worth?
This is
Can you
why
shift to a pocket dimension?
No.
this is why I'm saying actually using the giants for their source of information, because they can carry information further in order to provide defense against the Gith as well.
There's only so much they can do.
There is only so much they can do, yes, but it's something.
What if
The
we
moment
took him out of his lair and ported him in several thousand leagues at the bottom of the ocean?
Well, I was thinking the plane of water, but
Because
that could be.
Hecaton and his guys are pretty at home underwater.
I don't know how I feel about
know
doing
how
this
at home
fight underwater.
underwater a red dragon feels.
I don't know how home underwater we feel. We still have to do the fight.
I mean, I literally can give you guys the benefits to being underwater.
Now
you
we're
mean?
thinking.
Define.
How about?
Is
Oh, go on.
Hecaton's his patron, there's going to be benefits to that.
I know, but I need,
Exactly.
you know what my brain's like.
That was my
so I need
in-character action.
specific.
Wait, actually, maybe it's the other pack though. But
This is
How,
my
I'm-
old
I'm
pack. My old contract had that.
how about we
but
fight
I'm
him
sure
where we killed the last
Pegaton
dragon?
could easily make it give you guys boons
Yeah,
to
well-
being underwater.
You guys know because she has actually used it in the past. Kirok does have water breathing, so that at least would be negated.
Because you change, you're like a more storm patron now than you are like an underwater one, aren't you, Roman?
Oh no, I'm still more underwater, but it's more. It's the battles one.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, did you throw out Immerslayer?
Mm-hmm.
It's on the backwards of nowhere, guaranteed no civic
It's a
casualties.
desert,
there.
right, around it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Because if we were underwater, even if we could breathe, we all have like problems moving. Projectiles have issues. Like there's a decent amount of cons that come with that plus.
Mm.
The plus obviously is that a fire breath weapon probably wouldn't do much.
And
that-
and also depending on when we do it, we might have a good squad of giants to help us as well, because that's where Hecaton lives. The storm giants might be there to help us.
Exactly.
I'm gonna beat you because there are the conches that all the giant lords can use to get there. So if a round robin was called, basically everyone you could want of the giants would tag in, basically,
And
because they can all teleport there.
And we have one also,
Yes.
right?
You never get
Yes.
it back. You stole it
I
off
have-
of
no.
Off the hill giant.
Yeah, off the hill giants.
You
Yeah.
never give it back.
I was got stuck in that big hole.
Is she still stuck in the hole? Because she had a lot of weight to lose before she got free.
That bitch is dead for sure.
She starved.
So instead of
I mean, we
It's
literally have all the
dehydrate.
terrain in the world. Where do we want to be?
Somebody made
instead
sure
of going
that
to
you would
frost giants, we
dehydrate.
could go there.
What did you say, Kirk?
So instead of going to the frost giants, we could go to the storm giants and then have the storm giants grab everyone else. Because they're at the top of the ordning.
Hecaton's also not in charge, right?
No, it's his
Oh,
daughter.
yeah,
His daughter's in
It's
It's
charge.
his daughter.
He's
But-
retired.
He is now the king
For
of
him.
regions.
I was retired once.
It
Is now
doesn't
Queen
stick.
Sarissa, who, by the way, at the very
Sarissa?
start of all this, did throw hands with Cloth
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the back of a
My-
rock, which is her divine found steed.
So she'd
We-
probably
My
be down
only
to do it
thing-
again.
Now, bear
Is
in
the-
mind, let's not assume they want us there for this. This
A,
would put
that.
them at major risk.
A, that. B, isn't the storm giants they're not in the water plane, right? They're just underwater.
They're
Oh
just
yeah,
under
yeah, that's
the
what I
water.
meant. Just
4,000 leagues
underwater.
under the sea. That's what.
But
Kirok
Cloth
meant.
can fly,
Correct.
so he would just go up.
He will escape
Well,
the
he's
water. as well.
underwater. Like they have a
Yeah, it'd be
bubble essentially
slower,
of-
but it's gonna take
And
us a while to
also,
kill
have
him.
you ever
It's-
seen a creature that is meant to fly or walk on land? That
Go
now has to
underwater, it's
swim?
not great. No.
Well,
It's
that's the
already
thing.
faster than us.
Even if he tries to go back to the surface, they're literally at the very bottom of the center of the ocean. Even if nothing tried to stop him, it would probably take him a good while to get back to the surface, and there'd be a lot of stuff trying to stop him. It'd probably be better
The
than trying to find
ocean-
him out here because he'd just
Yeah.
fly into the sky.
The ocean gives us a very decent strategical advantage in that regard.
You
Plus-
guys can go nowhere, but neither can he, and he can move a lot faster than you. So you denying him that is something.
Yes, plus we have that connection with Hecaton, with their family, as well as a potential ally in that. Plus, which is what I was trying to allude to earlier, we have the opportunity to benefit from their connections through the conch and so on.
Mhm.
So we can actually build a decent ally base that way as well. This is partly what I was trying to allude to with Ashka about making use of those connections to form a defense.
Roman, how's that phone call going?
You finished, bud?
Fleet's probably
Um,
going to be still just sort of tapping around, just kicking up ash and all that sort of thing, and then just sort of saying passing, mostly to the new Dragonborn friend. I suppose this is the part where the heroes, having seen a city full of civilians get dead, are going to bring what caused them all to be dead to another city full of civilians.
It seems so.
These guys are the heroes.
Heroes.
Hmm.
I respect their endeavors, but heroes is such a weird word to use, in my opinion.
I got over it a long time ago.
We'll see how well these heroes do.
God, I wish
Okay.
I was playing Pox right now so I could be like, bitch, I agree. What the fuck?
I'm just waiting for a message from
Unfortunately,
Natalie.
I'm stuck as Glory the superhero Superman nonsense. Can we also
Captain
just take a
America.
moment, everyone, to appreciate the pile of D&D books that is piling up on Case Windows? Insults book after book for answers that are not there.
Why do these
Here are the
books just
questions.
not
I wanna
have...
get
Like,
group
that
consensus
windowsill was
before-
empty when we started.
Why do these things
I'm-
not just have chapter 7, How to Kill Cloth? You know, it's unfair.
I'm still waiting for that
It's a
one
wizard.
day when Bloom moves to a different place and they have the bookshelf behind with all the D&D books, and you just see her spin round and go, that one, I need that one as well, and then
That was
spins
me when I
back
DM'd
around.
in her living room.
Yes.
I need that one, please. Can you reach
That's
that
why
one?
that shelf is behind the table.
I'm too short. Can you reach that one?
That's why that shelf is by the table.
So I'm gonna get group consensus on these questions.
Actually, no, there are places that they can actually teleport them into to fight.
Go on.
Can you tell the giant families that we plan to kill Cloth for the destruction of Mirabar? The families.
Summon the family.
You come
can you
here
tell
on the
the
day of my daughter's wedding.
Although,
tell
technically that was the end of Storm King's Thunder, except replace wedding with coronation.
There was a wedding.
Yeah, anyway.
Can you tell or can we fight him at your place under the sea, and can you tell the giant families to meet us?
Can we fight him at your place? Asking it like if you can come over and use the Xbox. Like, it's like, hey, my Wi-Fi went down and I've got raid night. Can I come over? Can I order this thing from China to your place?
So
that's what you throw to the party.
Yeah. We good with this?
I guess we could throw in the added thing of if they have an idea for an alternate location.
If they're not chill with it. Yeah.
If they're not cool. If they're not cool with it.
Can we fight him at your place, or do you have alternate area?
Because my idea was just underwater, not necessarily in their bit, just underwater.
I think all underwater is kind of their bit.
True. Just not the bit
we're not
going to
fight him near like a populated area.
No,
but like, yeah.
That was why the underwater thing was the thing.
I would expand that if you have any other ideas for potential battle locations or potential other resources that you have available that would be of aid to us. That we haven't been told of.
Des, what's the stuff laying around me besides ash? You said there was some Gith ships and stuff, right?
Broken Gith ships, primarily. Things that were magical that survived, silvered weapons, like some like minor suits of like armor that's just magical for the point of like resisting erosion, essentially that kind of thing. But again, dusted, and like you literally have to filter through dust to get it. So there is plenty there that you could find. Is there anything particularly you're looking for?
Not really. Fleet probably just gets bored and holds a hand out to some of the debris and flings it into the air without touching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we find him at your place under the sea, or at an alternate area of which we could take him to be away from his lair.
Send that message.
I think so.
Yeah, it would just be through commune, so it would be either
Okay.
yes or no, or if a one-word answer would be misleading or contrary to the deity's interest, the DM might offer short
Essentially,
phrase.
here's what I'm going to say. You send that message out, and there isn't a reply for about 10 minutes. Until near you, you can just see a shimmer of magic. Just. And then there's a tall by all of your accounts figure, but short by giant stature, wielding staff and a slung over bag with many slabs in one side.
My son!
Look at my son.
My son!
I dissociated. Is it our son?
It
It's
might
our
be
son.
our son!
It is Tarun.
Yay!
Yeah.
Tarun
Oh,
gets out, looks around to this, and like does a wave, and there's essentially like a gust effect, and the wind is just pushed away, and kind of like a breeze about just to clear the air. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were going to be the one answering my.
and looks horrified.
To be retribution worthy from us, this is about. This is.
And like, what you notice as well, like the half of his face which was also caved in,
Yes.
is glowing, and gets brighter and brighter the longer he's looking around here.
You just missed us having to heal up Bahamut.
What?
Yeah.
Let's focus on the problem at hand.
No.
No, the
what?
information is pertinent to why we are doing what
Why
we're
we
doing.
need to act the way we're
Yeah,
acting.
we're not
Oh, and,
just slapping him on the wrist today. This is an
Roman,
actual.
I got sent by him. He basically contacted me to get you because he got Her Majesty said us to call me because one of the benefits of being the High Ruler over all of is the fact of basically you can just so.
Most people around.
You get the families together. I know.
I think you.
What is that accent you're doing?
And also, I will say, out of character, you guys remember Zalto basically, or not Zalto, excuse me, Hecaton. I thought it's Zalto. Hecaton had basically shouted to Countess Dunsody to return what she had stolen from within the
Yes,
throne.
I remember
and
that
she
vividly.
could hear him
Oh,
wherever she was. So
There was a lot happening that day.
There was a lot that
Yeah.
day. Not this day.
Yeah,
There's
a lot
A
happened.
lot of days. And stands there. Looks to all of this. And it's just like, the sweat is basically like palpable on the stone skin. Like it's like a sleek marble almost to the head. Or not marble, I will be there. You know what I mean? Anyway, sleek whetstone. What do you mean you had to heal Bahamut? A god can't go on a material plane.
Okay, let's give a running description of what has occurred, and I give the TLDR of
Yeah.
literally
Do the
everything
Final
we
Fantasy
saw.
pan up.
The
pan
what
up,
we
yeah,
saw
yeah.
in order
Okay.
and everything we observed.
Yeah, exactly.
you know.
Thank you.
Yeah, traitor
So I
and
will
all
say
that.
this about a tenth of the way through. Tom begins casting a spell and is going to begin casting the teleport spell.
Oh, I will look around at our new friends, Fleet and our new friend, and be like, we've been preparing for this fight most of our lives, but it is. I can't overstate the risk if you wish to come with us.
Do you want to go
we would-
somewhere safe?
Yeah, we would, as much as we would appreciate extra firepower, this is. I can't overstate how dangerous it is. We can get
Fleet
you
makes it-
somewhere safe before we go. I know,
Fleet
Fleet,
makes it-
you've got a message to deliver.
Yeah. Fleet makes exactly this noise. Yeah.
So
I'll be
you're
fine.
in?
Yeah.
Good to have you.
You better
I'm
believe
in,
it.
right? You coming?
That was for you, Ali, I think.
Oh, sorry, spaced out.
That was okay.
I was spaced out listening.
I don't quite know what your kid is, but all firepower is good firepower against a dragon this size.
Yeah, you
It
look
sounds
like
like we're
you've
going
got
to
a
be fighting
decent.
him underwater.
It kind of looks around at everything. I shall come along.
Can I, like, essentially size this guy up? Like,
You're a fighter. I'll say you can.
I'm literally, but literally, I don't really. Well, Glory obviously is interested in his kit, but more just the thing
Probably
of like,
two
I
of
don't want
us.
to. I don't want to bring anyone along who's just gonna get, who's over their head, right? Like, I don't want anyone who's just gonna get
Is-
nuked in the first round. I know out of character that
I'll
you guys
give
aren't gonna
you-
get nuked, but Glory don't.
No, that's fair. It's fair. I will say, as take a point, you're dealing with someone who's a Nezinar grade character. In that, probably same skill set. Like, you don't know this guy, and if someone
But
is
live built,
light built, that one eye that has
Weird
the
magic
H
shit.
property to it has seen shit. Definitely got a lot of tricks up.
solidarity and weird gold eye.
Yeah. And I will say it's like a fair point of like someone of this profession, if you don't know about them, that means they're good.
Would I be aware that they've tried to kind of stare at me, like look into?
Oh yeah, she's absolutely sizing you up. Glory does not hide it.
It's
and
not
like,
subtle about anything.
but it is very much so a thing of like, is this guy going to be okay on this? Cloth. Like, you are aware Cloth is a notoriously dangerous entity.
I feel like so as you're sizing me up with the hood still on, you just see this glow of a blue hue just emanating from the hoods, looking down into you. Yes, something I can help you with.
I'll take it. Come on, let's go.
So basically, you just began describing everything, and at that point, the teleport happens, and I haven't had to move you guys here in years.
100,000 years. The last
So
time we
let's-
were here, Tian was not a thing.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, you rescued Tian.
We
Yeah,
made
we thought-
Tian a thing.
Yeah, because up until
Last
this
time we were
up
here.
until this point, Kirok thought he was still dead.
Dead. Yeah, I remember. I remember very vividly. I had to
It's
write
gonna be
it.
it's gonna be very weird for the pair of them. Like the moment that the party sort of whoops in, there's just gonna be like a moment of silence where the pair of them just sort of hold each other very tightly.
Is Tian
Nah.
here?
Yeah, Tian's with us.
Oh shit! I actually didn't know. Okay,
Now
cool.
comes the moment where Das loads something up and it's like, I need to get rid of this old stuff that was here
Oh,
from years
it
ago.
will be from when Sarissa, is that her name? When she was nearly assassinated by Imrith. It will be the last time we were here.
Yeah, Imrith disguised as a giant.
Doesn't
Oh,
Ash
yeah, the
remember
other-
that? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And this is also the one time we were here. I also,
You
denounced
used to
the
work
great
for
old one.
Cthulhu.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
You
then
told
was like,
Cthulhu to go fuck
"Hey."
himself.
Yeah, and then it was like, "Hey, big storm giant guy, you wanna be my patron?"
He was like, yeah, sure.
Like, graphics performance notification.
Yeah, I just got that as well.
One of these bitches with this lesser PCs that can't run.
Yo,
I got a
I just
28
remembered what else is
super.
here though. I just remembered what else is here. The Wormskull throne.
Oh fuck
Yes.
That's here.
yeah. Yeah. They might be slightly interested. Go
The Wormskull throne
They have a
does
skull
stuff.
made of dragons.
It does stuff though. It might
I-
help.
The
I
one
didn't
skull
Might have-
throne, which was always missing one skull, because they needed another ancient blue. You
It-
provided that.
It does stuff.
Should I be seeing
all I'm
anything?
seeing is black.
The black
Yeah, I'm
screen.
just
Yeah.
seeing
it's good.
black as well.
I have
we need to
moved
zoom out a
completely
lot?
to audio.
No, because I haven't
Oh.
zoomed the whole way out.
Might have to.
I know what
Hold
this is, so what I'll do is, because
Fucking
this is definitely
advanced
not
lighting.
a point of combat save.
Wow, we really didn't see any of this map, huh?
Oh no, we sure didn't.
Wow,
no.
we saw none of this.
We
Also,
saw
guys-
less than a third.
Also, guys, please enjoy, for the sake of humor, I left the old icons on.
Oh my god.
Also, Harshnag is there.
Hey!
Hey!
Basically, a tag in.
Hey bud, you want to fight? Is that just a bunch of sharks?
Yes.
Yeah, they got pet sharks.
Sick.
Pet giant sharks. Some of them ride them.
I would
Actually,
ride a
no, they
giant
ride killer
shark.
whales. Excuse me. That's what they
You
ride.
might be
I would
about
ride
to.
a killer well.
You might be about to.
Oh, hell yeah. Can I? Please?
Please.
Please.
I think in this case
Oh
you
God.
probably would do.
Oh my god, I forgot how fucking small our icons are.
This is
Oh god,
Also,
everybody's so
Roman,
big.
do remember your old icon is still on the map, just for that little bit of a nostalgia hit before we.
Oh, that's Legacy, huh? That sure is Legacy. Legacy was
Oh
there.
god, yeah, that's old Roman.
Yeah.
There's
Old
me without a
Roman, old
border because
Legacy.
token stamp didn't exist.
Yep.
No?
Character together the same.
Hey, who's the fuck this guy?
Who's this fucking guy?
Each older your younger self, you become stronger.
Yes.
So do we just like arrive here as Turin bamps us?
Yes, essentially you teleport in. For some reason, my Steam decided to pop up there.
Seems like, hang on, D&D's done now.
Oh, it's not.
Come click
has-
on Fantasy.
As
No,
we
it's not.
bamf in, go. Oh, shit.
No.
Quick bow.
One thing
Okay,
you have
no, I
definitely
make this.
learned about having Sarissa as a queen, you don't need a vow. But she is sat on the Worm Skull throne. The mighty hammer that was crafted by King Durin Frostbrand for her at the coronation is just there as a weapon. The throne is there and the crown is there. To her side is the Imperator Uthor and King Regent Hecaton, who, while she is absent or whenever she happens to be gone, happily takes over the role of ruling for her. But she is queen. You arrive with Tarun, who does kneel, and as you're there and he is kneeling, you just see from the side he immediately just gets lifted up, as his wife Cinderhild is there with a I will have to edit this model. No, actually I can't just, yeah, there we go, because we're all modeling.
Cinder.
Used to
I
be-
haven't thought about Cinder in years.
Yeah.
My pseudo daughter.
They did it.
No, I'm so happy for them.
Our children got married.
They did it. There's confetti.
I just kind of nod at both of them. The
Yeah,
closest
and-
Glory gets to like, good to see
Yeah.
you.
Also, that's as close as you get because she's wearing Zalto's like.
Oh
like
yeah,
the-
for sure.
Like an equivalent gear to Zalto.
Oh, that's okay. As long as it's not Zolta's actual gear, that would have been weird.
No, because
No, he was still
the
in
old
it.
gear was still on the body.
Oh yeah, huh? I forgot about
Oh yeah, should we tell her what we just did?
that. No,
No.
No, I'm
She
sure
knows.
we tell her that we just had to kill her dad again.
she knows.
I'm
If she
going.
knows.
I'm going to say that when Ashka sees the two of them, will give a sort of nod of
What?
reassurance and a sort of wink
What?
Just guys.
and a sort of little wink to sort of go, yeah, well done. But will perform with the greatest sort of civility to the new queen. Will kneel, so on. Will have the
Again,
mace in front.
she's very much so a you don't need to kneel kind of queen. She stands up as she does and like looks around to all of you as you're there. So am I correct? You wish to end? No. She like just lifts up the hammer. Am I correct that you want to give me a rematch?
Yes.
Wouldn't
Yes.
want to steal your thunder, but yes, we would. If we could be tagged in, we'd appreciate it.
The Queen of Thunder looks at you as you say that, goes, I'm gonna let that one slide because it's funny. And I'm in now
I feel like we're
terribly good
past
mood.
formality.
As she begins like moving towards you all.
Fleet says, you
Um,
know me, Your Highness, always working.
As you're there, Torrin just like kind of raises a hand to stop the
Better.
Kira, please keep recounting what you're recounting to me, to them. And
Yeah.
as you
Yeah, start over. Blah, 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 blah.
again,
Camera pans up.
as you do, whilst Sarissa seems troubled, and like the whole room is somewhat, taken aback by this news, because no matter what, this is serious.
Oh yeah.
Hecaton, out of all present here, is the most troubled. I think it's the safest word to say. like has the most grim expression of all here present, and like there's a very fell notion around him as he's listening to you recount this. And as he does, he gets up and like extends out a hand, which Sarissa does give essentially like a scepter or a ruling scepter to him. And it's this massive, golden, beautiful scepter. Excuse me, no, it is just pure adamantine. As he walks towards this center scrying pool that is there, he puts one hand just like kind of almost wraps over it. And as he does, the adamantine shifts to gold. And he seems locked for an extended period in what can only be described as wordless conversation.
So what you're saying is she handed him the talking stick.
And he seems to be talking with someone. As everyone is here, even Harshnag, who is terrified, but is here because he's every reason. He knows how dangerous Cloth is. He's one of the few people here who have fought him.
Can I make eye contact with Harshnag? And just like wordlessly try and convey how bad Mirabar was.
Yeah, he can look in your eyes. He can tell.
Because I know Harshnag
it's-
and me. Well, I'm not a barbarian. We both can get pissed and have vendettas.
Yeah, he's
So-
also more of a fighter than a barb. but
Yeah.
with-
Just that
with
like
Min-
eye contact of like
Oh yeah, that
I've seen
cold,
too
like,
many
we've seen
fucking
shit. Yeah.
villages be nothing anymore.
And Mirabar specifically because he was too scared to enter Mirabar when you guys were there last.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Oh yeah.
As you're there, and as Hecaton seems focused on this, Sarissa, I need you to rise from the throne. She looks odd, like doesn't know why, but sees no malcontent from this message and does stand. And as she does, Hecaton reaches to the back of this throne and presses it inward. And as he does, the throne dunks to the ground. Usually floating just a little bit above, but dunks down.
Now a bludgeoning weapon.
I told you how to use.
He's got the.
He's got
the dragon's gold chair.
Good God Almighty! Good God Almighty! That man had a family. That dragon had a brood.
Oh fuck! All right, I know.
But as he
Made a joke so funny my camera defocused.
yeah,
Okay.
but as the moment is there present and the throne is disabled, Hecaton just walks towards the center of the room and is just like thumbing a heavy, beautiful golden ring on his finger. When this world was young, when there was no need for mortals to rise up and they had not yet gained their footing, free from the touch of those things which were ancient and gone. Dragons and giants broke those chains. Bahamut and Anam fought side by side. It was Io's creation of Tiamat which soiled our relationships, our friendships. As many could consider your equivalent of Lolth's introduction to the Elven Pantheon. However, my own life was saved by a dragon before. From The endless hungering maw that once rose up at creation. Nothing would fill me with more joy than ridding this world of an ancient red dragon. Cloth is a tyrant. But to destroy a tyrant, I need call upon another. And the ring begins glowing. And as the hand extends out and focuses, an ancient giant dialect is being spoken, mumbled from him. And then ancient draconic whispers and entwines with it. And as this happens, and Hecaton speaks, in the space next to him, the entire thing is immediately engulfed. There's like bright magic of a teleportation. Plane shifts. And then it all goes dull, like a dull gold.
Yep.
And standing there is a ancient, enormous gold dragon. Scales are grayed and dulled gold, worn down, but then straightens up the back with pride as it looks towards an old friend. We must work together, Galgarant. And that's where we end the session.
No, that's it. We're ending the campaign. No, we're not having any more sessions after this. Good night. Bye. I can't. I'm not fucking doing this shit again. I have to deal with this shit for 6 years. Goddammit.
I didn't want to ever meet this guy.
There's a reason for that.
Uh-huh.
Gotta use
So
the
wait,
tyrant to kill a
who got
tyrant.
some?
I was literally like, where the fuck is he going with this?
So wait, who do we summon? What?
Fucking Galgarond.
Nope, that's it. Right, I'm ending the stream. But it's the same reaction as me.
All right, bye-bye. I'm out.
All the Blood
Time
and
to go.
Sand people leave. Right, that's it. Goodbye,
I'm done.
everybody. I'm ending the stream. Calling it there. Good night. Bye.